Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I made these pretty little ornaments. I think they're called a wood disc is what these are called. I don't know, I got them off of Amazon. But if you watch my videos, you know last year I made this little pretty keepsake box and I put this poinsettia on top, and I thought, look how cute that poinsettia is going to look on those wood discs. So let me show you the wood discs. Now I just got them off of Amazon, so if you're interested I'll send you the link, just let me know. But there's a bunch in there, and then it even comes with this orange cord, and I want to get this one out, or this jute cord like this, and we're going to use that today too. So we put those away, and then let me show you the stamp sets that we're using. Well, really the dies that we're using are the poinsettia. I think they're called poinsettia dies. Now mine, I have 2 sets, so mine are doubled. Everything you've seen here you only get half, because like I said, I used this so much last year that I went ahead and bought 2 sets of the dies, and then the coordinating stamp set is called the poinsettia petals. And all of this you can find in the annual catalog, but we're not going to use this stamp set. The stamp I wanted, of course, is a little Merry Christmas, and this Peaceful Deer, which you know is one of my favorites, has the perfect Merry Christmas, so really I'm going to use the Perfect Deer stamp set on my ornament today. Alright, so we're going to start with some of that red velvet paper, some vellum, some silver foil paper, and then just a piece of basic white. And all of these are just scraps, because we're going to take our die cut machine. Now I'm going to set them up here, and then I'll put them on my machine. Platform number 1, platform or plate number 2, and then the cutting plate number 3. Lay my paper on there. Let me get my dies out. So my dies, now these dies come with an outline and then an inside that have like the texturing or the embossing on it, and I have already taken washi tape and I just keep mine together all the time, at least on one set. I think on this, I think they're both like that. I keep them both together, and there's 3 of them. So I'm going to take the large, the medium, and the small here and set them on my velvet paper, and then take my second cutting plate, lay that on top, bring in my cut and emboss machine. Now this is the standard one, or the larger one. I probably could have used the smaller one because I think my dies would fit through there, but I wanted to lay all the dies on there at once, and so I'm using the big one. And cut those, and I'm going to run it back through just for good measure. There we go. Let me set this aside for just for a minute because we got to cut some more. And now look how pretty those petals are, and you can see the embossing on there and everything of my poinsettia petals. You get all those out. Okay, and then on my piece of vellum here, and now I'm going to remind you again, I have 2 sets of dies, so I can run what I call the baby breath. I can just run it through one time and get 2 of those cut out. So there we go, like that. Put that cover on top. Set it on my machine for measure and run it back through. So now I'm going to just set those aside, and I'll get them out later, but I have that vellum cut like those 2 little baby breath. And then last, like I said, I set it down somewhere, my piece of silver foil. Oh my goodness, did anybody see where I set it? I'm worried because my vellum fell on the floor, that my foil fell on the floor too, and now I can't see it. I have another piece of silver. Let's see if we can get it out of this scrap, because my big scrap has totally disappeared. Story of my life. But let's take our dies. Let me move this again so you can see what I'm doing and get my dies here. And again, I just took those leaf And the same thing, it has an outside and it has an inside that embosses it. I just took my washi tape and I just hold it together all the time. And then I'll take the big leaf and the little leaf like that. And then this little center like this, I'm going to cut one of those in silver also. I wonder what happened to my silver. Oh, I found it. Here it is. Fell in the trash. Okay. So we got that. But this little piece of silver worked just fine. Thanks for bearing with me. And we're going to run that through the machine here. And then back just for good measure. Okay. All set. This will need this one more time, but we'll do that later. So let's go ahead and get our flower put together. Now we have that pretty silver leaf, again with the embossing. And this one. Okay, let me put my die set away so I don't lose any of those. Oh, I've got to get my baby breath out of the die too. So I'm going to use my take a pick tool and convince that vellum to come out of my die. Gently, there we go. I think that's going to add a little bit of an elegant touch with that vellum baby breath to our ornament. Okay, one more. Here we go. Put those away. Now let's assemble our flower. So with the poinsettia, I think that most of the time you take your flower and you curl your edges this way, but with the poinsettia, really they're bent this way. So I'm going to take my bone folder in the center and then just fold those petals up so it looks like that. See the difference? I think that looks more like a poinsettia than curling like you would normal flower petals. Boy, and if that made sense, you've either been watching my videos too long or maybe I know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Okay, whoops, slippery little booger. We'll do that to all of those. There we go. And then with just a dimensional, I'm going to take a dimensional here and I'm going to put it in the center of my large petal and a dimensional in the center of my medium. Well, and and then I'm going to take a mini dimensional and put that in the center of my small, because I think a large dimensional might be a little bit too big. And then I'm going to just take my petals and layer them together with that dimensional in between. Look how pretty that's coming out so far. And then there, and then this one, I'm going to take that little silver piece here and put it. And now I know you can see that dimensional through the center, but we're going to cover that up later anyway, so it'll be just fine. Now with a couple glue dots, let's take our baby's breath here, and I'm going to put a glue dot on the front of my baby breath. I think that's what this is. That's what I'm going to keep calling it. And I'm going to just slide it in here somewhere behind those little petals and give it down. Now it'll be sticky on this side, but don't worry, we're going to cover that up too. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one to the other side. Again, I'm putting the glue dot on the front, and with the vellum you really can see a front and a back, which is smooth and which is not from after the die cutting. And lay that in there and just stick there. So far it looks like that. And then with these leaves, now without using my bone folder because I don't want to mess up my foil, I'm going to just take my thumb a little bit and curve it so it just has a little bit of character to it. We don't want a total flat leaf. Like that, I'm going to put a glue dot on the front of both of my leaves here. And then just tuck those, and that's going to kind of help see that baby breath a little bit. I think I'm going to put my one leaf there, and this one I think I'm going to even tilt down a little bit, maybe, how How do I want, no, I guess he's gonna go, no, I don't like that one. Hang on. He's gonna go way over here. There we go. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good, just like that. So now we have our flower. And then on the back of that, I'm gonna put a bunch of dimensionals, and I'm not gonna be very frugal. I'm gonna kind of go hog wild because I don't ever want this to fall off of my wood disc. So I'm gonna put a couple even down here. And now I think he's gonna be nice and sticky and he won't fall off when he's hanging on the Christmas tree. Because I like to send, I like to make small gifts like this and make sure that everybody I see just gets a little gift. And so I like to make a bunch of these. And I have a craft fair coming up. So I'm gonna make some of these for that too. Now when I put my flower, I'm gonna remember that this is gonna be the top when it hangs. It's gonna be just like that. And then I'm gonna put him, I think he looks good like that. So there's the start. Right now we need some sentiment on there. So I'm gonna bring in that Merry Christmas. This is from the, what's the deer called? Peaceful Deer. Love that stamp set. I think you've seen me use it 100 times. And then I'm gonna bring in a little bit of green. I think it needs a little bit of green. So with the shaded spruce, I'm gonna just take that and stamp it on my scrap here. Wait, it has a little bit of wood parts on there from my disc. And I'm gonna set that just on my paper, let that ink sink in. There we go. And then from these, and I love this die right here. This is the beautiful tree dies. I think this die is probably, I keep saying everything's my favorite, but that one might be my favorite. I use it all the time. And I'm gonna first, here we go, take my washi tape and I'm gonna just set that where I want it. Make sure it's nice and straight. Let's see if I can find the end of my washi tape here. Hold that down. Bring in my machine again. Same sandwich that I used before. Lay that on there. Run that through. There we go. Perfect size with that deer stamp set. And then on the corners of this, I'm going to just put a dimensional. And these are the mini dimensionals on each end. And then just set that. Let me find the top again. I want to make sure the top so it hangs straight. And then I'm going to just set that right there. And there we go. So now we have a tag on our ornament. Now on the inside, I'm going to take these, what are these called? Red rhinestone gems, jewels, something like that. And I'm going to just take one of them and set them right here in all those little holes. Now with the red rhinestones, you get like, well, I'm trying to think, how many do you get in here? 220. So imagine how many ornaments you could make with one package. Well, if you can do math, you don't have to imagine, huh? But you get a lot of gems in a package of these little red rhinestones. But I'm gonna put one in each. And I'm gonna sneeze, hold on. Nope, I coughed. I still have, oh, excuse me. I knew it was coming. Sorry about that. Nothing like a live video. You can't help it. And you ever have that sneeze coming and you almost can't see? That's where I was. Now I can see. Okay, so look how pretty that little center is now with all those little red. Let me get them straight so they look better. But it's got a really pretty center there. Now it has the little blingy. It looks pretty on the Christmas tree. And then last but not least, and this is just a helpful tip, I'm gonna take some wire. Now, if you've been around Stampin' Up! For a while and you know what this is, then you are a long time Stampin' Up! Junkie like me. But it's just, I got some 26 gauge wire here. And I've cut a piece, I don't know, about this long. I'm gonna fold it in half. And I'm gonna put it through that hole of my ornament. And then, oops, I forgot to cut my jute here, so I'm going to just cut a piece, I don't know, about that long. And then I'm going to put it where I've put that wire in half. So you see how I did that? And then when you pull it back through, you've kind of made your own like needle threader, and you can get the jute through that hole of your disc. So I'm just going to take that, I'm going to tie a little knot here at the top. Now we have our hanger for the tree, and bada bing, bada boom, there you go, there's our ornament. So let me show you and tell you what I used for my other ornaments. I think they all turned out pretty. In fact, I think the red and green foil paper, this one, now in the mini catalog that's current right now, we have this red and green foil paper, and look how pretty that one turned out. I used the gold foil paper for the baby's breath and for the inside, and then I used those metallic pearls to put along there, and then I did just do a little bit of gold embossing on the tag for that one. And then this one, I used that snowy white velvet paper. I used the baby's breath again, or I mean the vellum on the baby's breath, and then I used some copper paper, foil paper for the leaves and for the center of my flower with the red. And there again, I used the shaded spruce for my tag. So there you go. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. Hope you try to make some poinsettias. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you want the link to the discs, I'll be sure and share that too. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.